Yeah, so my name is Carter Viss. I'm a maintenance technician here at Loggerhead Marinelife Center. I've been here for about 4 years now, and I have a passion for aquariums. I've dedicated my life to, working with them. And yeah, I hope to show you guys a lot of what we have to offer here. So I started working here about 4 years ago. I was a senior in college, really looking for a job, and I saw a part-time position open here for a maintenance technician job, and I applied, and thankfully I got the job. And then I started working here, and I noticed the tanks, the great tanks here, and I really wanted to do a lot of work with those. So, eventually I started working with them too. Started restocking a lot of the tanks with fish through our collection permit with FWC, started a quarantine system behind the tanks to properly introduce new fish into our main tanks. So it's been a few years, and I've been working with that along with operations here at Loggerhead too. So it's been a very diverse experience. So it really all started when I was a kid. I loved to look at fish tanks, especially in the doctor's office or something like that. And plus fishing, I actually grew up in Denver, Colorado, so I was away from the ocean, but I did a lot of freshwater fishing. I had multiple saltwater tanks growing up too. Throughout high school, I actually had a pet stingray in my saltwater tank, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I came down to Florida for college about 7 years ago at Palm Beach Atlantic University. I studied marine biology there. As soon as I got down here, I immediately started fishing the waters here, snorkeling. I learned how to scuba dive. And yeah, the first time I went out, on the reefs here, I was amazed by all the colors, all the different fish. And I really want to show you guys, what is in the water too here through our tanks. A lot of my memories, fishing at the local pond near my house, that was my favorite spot. Also fishing in the mountains too. I mean, the beautiful scenery, the beautiful trout up there was really cool. And what really brought me to Florida was just seeing all the saltwater fish in my tank. I love, all the colors, all the different, looks and shapes of the fish that you can find. And just having them all in one tank, kind of seeing how they behave and stuff, really fascinated me. So I figured, might as well get as close to the ocean, as close to the tropical ocean as possible, so I can live, amongst these fish and dive with them and stuff. Some of my favorite types, well, probably my all-time favorite, especially around here in Florida, would be the queen angelfish. I love the coloration on them. I get excited whenever I see one when I'm diving, and the angelfish we have in our tanks right now is the one I caught out snorkeling. I've been trying to catch one of those for years. Finally got a good one that we could put in our tanks, so I was really excited about that fish. And a few of my other favorite fish, I love eels, moray eels especially. Yeah, snowflake moray eels are some of my favorites, and really any fish that has a lot of personality to it are really the fish that I tend to draw towards. So my main goal with this playlist is to, showcase our tanks to, on a platform that is accessible to people all around the world. So people can see, what we have to offer, what, ecosystems exist down in here in Florida that we can, display to people. And I also think, with the expansion coming up, we can really get a lot of focus in on, fish IDs, aquariums, a lot of things that could help us in the future too. A lot of appreciation for that. Typical day, it would be, start out, check out all the fish, make sure all the fish are healthy. Once we're done with that, I like to, clean the glass, clean parts of the tank that got dirty, over the past few days or something. And then after all that initial stuff is done, I do water quality tests on all the tanks, so make sure all the parameters are good and up to par. And if something's way out of the ordinary, we'll assess that immediately. And then after that, I like to do the food prep. So I prep the food accordingly for feeding. We do feedings every other day. So I make sure, you know, all the food's ready to go for whatever's going on that day. And then after that, it's really, you know, once water changes are done, all the essential work is done, we move to side projects. So especially our quarantine tanks, treatments for the fish, we do those, you know, after everything else. And also kind of redesign some tanks if we feel, you know, we could change the theme up a bit. And yeah, I mean, really every day is different. A lot of different things come up, but we try to stick to, you know, that essential stuff first and then everything, you know, after that. Yeah, so right now I actually just upgraded. I had a 32-gallon tank and felt like I needed, you know, more space in my tank, so I just got a 60-gallon tank. And you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but you know, it's helping me learn new things too about working here. You know, I can apply the same knowledge I got from that tank to here. And yeah, so right now, probably bigger tanks in the future, but I'm at a 60-gallon right now. I think the top thing would be education, to learn about our ecosystems here. And that's one of our main goals with our tanks, is to teach people about, you know, the ecosystems here. But once you know a lot about, you know, all the different ecosystems, you can really put in effort to conserve them, you know, learn about the fish, you know, appreciate what you're catching when you're fishing if you like to fish. There's just so many things, you know, you can do, and I would just recommend getting out there, checking things out, you know, be curious. I mean, that's what, you know, I was, and that's how I learned most of my things, just by being curious. I say my best advice would be just to say yes to any opportunity. You know, going to school down here, I was around a lot of places that have marine biology oriented themes to them. So especially going to school in an area like this, you know, in college, you just got to reach out, find whatever place you can, just get as much hands-on experience as possible, because honestly, that's just as important as any classroom work you might be doing in school too. Yeah, so I came down here 7 years ago, went to Palm Beach Atlantic University, majored in marine biology, and during my college career, I actually took an internship at Clearwater Marine Aquarium as an aquarist. So I learned a lot about maintaining big systems there, saltwater systems, and a lot of the knowledge I learned there I'm kind of applying to my work here at Loggerhead. And also, once I graduated about 3 years ago, I started working at a saltwater aquarium shop too. And at that shop, I learned a ton, you know, about just taking care of fish, corals, all that. And all that knowledge I'm just applying to our tanks here. I really, you know, am going for the best outcomes for us. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a fantastic experience. I first started just kind of swimming off the beach, looking for rocks, and even that, you'll see a wide diversity of fish. My first time out, you know, just seeing all the species there, stingrays, sharks, turtles, you name it, just right off the beach, 10-minute drive from my apartment, you know, it was pretty amazing to me. And then especially scuba diving, when I started doing that, going down like 80 feet to see the shipwrecks or the reefs down there. I mean, it's like a different world. It's crazy just how much life is out there that, you know, a lot of people don't really even realize.